Login accepted.
So yeah, I'll go over how to complete that first task. So hold up, sorry. So you would first run a port scan. So you would do that by running nmap 192.168 1.0. And then since you want to like scan for like the entire network, you need to specify the range. So you would use the subnet mask of the network, which would be like /24. So this would basically scan within the range of 192 for like the last octet from like 1 to 255. So you could run that. Sorry, it's taking a while. And as you can see, it was able to detect three different devices. So your next task was to find or like basically find what the or identify what the domain controller was. So looking at the services, you could easily tell that it's 192.168.1.67. Because there are some like core services that are used within like a domain controller, such as, oh, of course, DNS or the domain, and then LDAP and KPass or Kerberos. So compare that to the regular Windows machine. There's only like one port available. So yeah. So the domain was 192.168.1.67. So in order to find the domain name, sorry, you could like use NXE or like netexec to basically query like one of the services you or yeah services you see. So NX or Netcat could use you could use the protocol LDAP to basically I guess perform attacks, but you could also just like check to see if there's like any like shares running. So so you would basically write out NXE and then LDAP and then the IP of the domain controller, or at least what you think the domain controller is. And you see you have like a host name called DC. It might be kind of small, but and then you can see the domain name is laker.local. You can also use like other commands like nslookup and yeah. And you can also see that the domain is running an SMB file share, which you could probably use to perform other attacks. Or yeah, just perform attacks. So that was the first part. I'm going to release the second part right now. One more thing I forgot to demonstrate was the Etsy comp file thing. So in order to like since um since Active Directory is like heavily reliant on DNS on your Kali machine, you would need to update your DNS name server file, which would be the Etsy slash Etsy slash resolve.conf. And then you can just edit it with like your text editor of choice, so either Nano or Vim. And then you would just type in name servers and then space the IP of the domain controller. So that was pretty much that task. I think this lab is kind of good. I may have this configured it. So yeah, but I'll show you like at least like the method of like how to um find the first part, which was like which users have like their password listed in their description. So you could query like all users in the domain by using um LDAP search. So um yeah, you would type in LDAP and then uh LDAP search and then tag capital H, which specifies like uh the protocol and domain. So you would put LDAP and then colon and then two forward slashes and then the IP of the domain controller. And then you'd also need to specify the name of the domain, which would be Laker Laker.local, right? So um you would have to specify like I think it's like distinguished uh name. So you would put this in quotes. And then what this command would do is basically lists like all users and groups. And somewhere in here there is like a description field, but you're gonna spend like a long ass time uh going through this file. So what you could do is only basically parse the or basically extract the only like a certain field by using or like a text line with like a matching field name by using grep or you would also oh you would need to use piping, which basically allows you to redirect the command to another command. So so this output will be used for like the input or for input for this command. And when you run it, you would only list the usernames and group names. And you could also do the same for the description field because this command also, again, it like lists everything about the, or like most of like all the attributes about certain, or all the users and groups. So if you only grep the description, you can see that there is a comment that says new user generated password, and then this would be the password. So what you could do is um, basically extract like all the text or the usernames onto like another file. So let me so if you use a command called sed, you could basically remove this area or the SAM account name and then space field, so you can only have the usernames. And when you save that like raw text into like a text file, you could then use netexec and then basically specify like all the users by instead of putting so for attack u in this command. So again, we're gonna be using SMB to like pretty much execute this command. So attack u would be user, the username, and then attack p would be, of course, the password. So when you would run it, in theory, you should get a successful login, and then it would like specify the users. But I think I might have misconfigured that and might have cooked the entire lab. So sorry about that, guys. But yeah, it's almost 6 o'clock, so pretty much gonna call it here. Um, yeah, thanks for coming, guys.